The baby is now 3 months old and she was named Ngozi. So while Ngozi was sleeping in the night, after her mom laid her on the bed, the snake appeared in the room and summoned the spirit of the baby. Premier appeared before it, and so the snake put a chain on her neck and dragged her to the underworld to meet with the evil god. In a town by the coast, there is a powerful mermaid goddess known as Primal. She is very beautiful with long dark hair, bright shiny eyes, and a shimmery fish tail. She is the queen of her kingdom. She sits on a majestic throne with a golden crown and with a staff of authority. In her kingdom, deep in the sea, she is highly honored and feared by her subjects. She sends her subjects on earth on a mission such as to cause barrenness, poverty, death, etc. to anyone who will not bow and worship her. They must not serve any other god except her. In the town where she is worshipped as a deity, people live in constant fear of her. They dare not call her name aloud. To the town people, she was both protector and punisher, a deity who demanded obedience. For generations, the town people offer sacrifices to her. Every full moon, they will gather at the ocean edge, singing her praise and leaving gifts, fruits, yams, and even small animals. If the offerings please her, the waters will remain calm, and the fish will be plenty. If not, disaster would strike. Primal's anger was deadly. Any disobedience from the townspeople was met with punishment. Storms would rise out of nowhere. Barrenness, poverty, and the sea would claim an entire family. In the entire spirit world, there is a greater ruler who is the god of all the goddess, demons, and spirits of any kind. He was feared by all who lived in the underworld. His name alone can silence a room. This evil god was not only feared for his power, but for the terrifying way he moves between the kingdoms of his subjects. Every visit was a storm of chaos and dread. When the evil lord comes to any kingdom, the air will change, the seas will shake violently, and the winds will cry like grieving souls. His arrival was always announced by the loudest sounds of thunder and lightning that made even the strongest spirits tremble. The ground below the kingdom would rumble as if it could crack open at any moment. This evil god never moves alone. He moves with a lot of terrifying demons, each one uglier and more fearsome than the last. Their eyes burn like coals of fire, and their claws scrape against the earth, leaving marks that no time can erase. They make scary noise when they move with the evil gods. Their sounds echoes like the cries from the lake of fire. Anytime the evil god entered a kingdom, he would come riding a dark chariot made of black clouds, pulled by two monstrous serpents that had scales that shimmered like oil under the moon. The sky above him would turn blood red and scary. Rain with thunder and lightning would fall. He carried a staff carved from a thunderbolt, and with every step he took, the ground would shake and rumble as if rejecting his presence. All his subjects ruling in their kingdoms would gather in haste, bowing low with their faces pressed to the ground. No one dared to look at him in the eye. They would say these words with their voice shaking: "The God of the thunder and lightning, the Lord of storms and ruler of wrath." If he is pleased, he will summon a brief silence, allowing the skies to clear for a moment. But if he is displeased, his wrath was instant. He will strike down the disobedient with bolts of lightning, leaving their forms as frightening reminders of his power. For the entire kingdom that failed him, he will summon whirlwinds to tear apart their lands, or floods to drown their strongholds. This evil god ruled over the demons, goddess, etc. with cruelty and demand loyalty to his evil command. He gives each kingdom a tax, evil tax like disasters, earthquakes, etc. Any kingdom that doesn't meet up with the tax, the spirit, demons, goddess, are punished brutally. He would tie the disobedient to a tree, swarming with fire ants, letting the ants bite and sting them for hours. Sometimes he would throw them into the lake to suffer forever. There their screams echoed forever. He also would throw them into a pit filled with sharp thorns, leaving them there to suffer also forever. The evil god's cruelty wasn't only about power. He declared himself the husband of every sea goddess. Any goddess who refused him was punished through his fierce-looking demons. They would unleash terrible, brutal punishment on them. One day, the evil god visited Premier's kingdom to check up on the evil tax assigned to their kingdom. As usual, he made a terrifying entrance with his fierce-looking demons. Every mermaid in the kingdom, including Premier, all gathered in haste, bowing low with their faces pressed to the ground. No one dared to look at him in the eye. They all said these words with their voice shaking. The God of the thunder and lightning, the Lord of storms and ruler of wrath. So he was pleased with them. He allowed brief silence and also the skies to clear for a moment. So while Premier scarily briefed him of the achievements given on the task, he ordered her to sit by him. Even though Premier is scared of him, she dislikes the thoughts of being called his wife, and so she objected. The evil god was enraged, and so he ordered the demons to severely and brutally punish her. For this will serve as a lesson to other queen goddesses in the other kingdoms. This punishment was really harsh, so they tied Premier to a tree swarming with fire ants. These ants bite and stung her for hours. This she was going to go through with many other punishments lined up for her. So Premier, scared and was thinking of what to do before her next punishment, decided to run away from her kingdom to the earth. While on exile, she would sneak back to the sea in hiding, secretly asking questions from other goddesses in other kingdoms on how she can hide successfully without being caught by the fierce-looking demons of the evil god. So, one of the goddesses advised her to enter into the womb of a pregnant woman so she can be born into the world. And she further advised her that during delivery, she should make sure she is born secretly in the house where no midwives or doctors will assist in the delivery, so as to keep her entrance into the world secret. With this, she can live quietly without any spirit, demons, and even mermaids knowing where she is. Premier bought this idea and was happy to embark on this new journey. On Earth, there live a couple who has one son, and the wife is pregnant with another baby. This couple came from the land where Premier is worshipped as a deity. So one day, as a pregnant woman whose name is Inkem came in front of her yard, she noticed at a distance someone wearing white staring at her. And so she wondered to herself, who could this person be and why is this person looking at me? So she ran into the living room to inform her husband, Mr. John. Mr. John ran out to confront the intruder, but didn't see anybody, and so he asked his wife, "Are you sure you actually saw someone?" As Ikem gazed across, she wondered and pondered how quickly the person disappeared without a trace. As they entered back into the house, suddenly she fell into labor. Before the husband could call a taxi, the baby just came out and started crying. The husband came back with the taxi waiting outside. He was shocked to see Ikem had put to bed to a beautiful baby girl. Mr. John took his wife and his new baby to the hospital for proper medical checkup. So while in the taxi, heading to the hospital, the taxi driver asked, "Madam, you mean you just gave birth to this beautiful baby by yourself in the house without anybody's help?" Ikem said, "Yes, sir." The taxi driver could not believe that the baby was just delivered now, And he said, how come her eyes are open and the baby seems to be looking at everybody? He wondered, and so did Mr. John and his wife. Meanwhile, in the spirit world, the evil god was enraged about the disappearance of Premier, and so he promised to deal with her subjects severely if they don't provide her within 1 week. He said he was going to send sea quakes and whirlwinds to destroy their kingdom. So they were terrified and they sought for the whereabouts of their queen. Every mermaid in the kingdom made sure they went in search for her. They cannot dare imagine what the evil god would do. The thought of it put them on their tails. They searched for her until luckily they got to know that she was advised by a goddess to become a human. As they continued their search, they were also able to know the family that Premier was born into. And so they reported to the evil god, who then sent a snake to bring her, dead or alive. By this time, the baby is now 3 months old and she was named Ngozi. So while Ngozi was sleeping in the night, after her mom laid her on the bed, the snake appeared in the room and summoned the spirit of the baby. Premier appeared before it, and so the snake put a chain on her neck and dragged her to the underworld to meet with the evil god. Throughout the night, Premier was severely punished and dealt with. Anytime they beat and torture her, her human baby self was also being affected. The torture was so much that baby Ngozi slept into a coma. When Nkem got up to check on her child, she discovered that Ngozi was not moving, and it almost seems to her that her baby had died. And so her husband took Nkem and their baby to the hospital. While the doctors examined her, they noticed the child was not responding to treatment, even though the child was still breathing, and so they decided to monitor and hope for the best. Meanwhile, in the underworld, Premier was sentenced to the dungeon to perish forever. By this, she begged and made a bargain with the evil god to let her go free. She said if she's released, she will bring a lot of souls for him. The evil god was impressed and liked what he was hearing, and so he started listing all the things she would do on earth for him. He said she must kill her earthly parents when she turned 15 years. He said she must initiate children in schools and everywhere. He also said that when she grows up, she must use her beauty to lure men into her kingdom. This Premier accepted, and she was released to go back to the earth. As she came back to the earth, she entered the baby, and baby Ngozi opened her eyes and became completely all right, to the amazement of everyone, including her parents and the nurses.